Welcome. You're listening to Doopy Deep with Dr. Nikki. This is the place where witty, irreverent, opinionated perspective meets serious, fact-based discussion. Featuring our host, Dr. Nikki Coleman, and her co-host, Tomas Bell. You can also join in the discussion during our live tapings by following us on Spreaker.com. Now, the doctor is in. It's time to get Doopy Deep.
Hello. And this is a bittersweet welcome because this is our last episode of the season. Bitter in the sense that I'm really sad to say goodbye for April, May, 2 months. We're going to say goodbye for 2 months. But sweet in that this has been such a good season. I've really enjoyed this season. And to that, what we want to do today is spend a little time celebrating this season and highlighting some of our favorite moments over the episodes, or across the episodes, I should say now. Over. So welcome back for all of our loyal listeners and fans here at Doopy Deep with Dr. Nikki and my co-host. Dun, 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 dun.
Hello. Is it me you're looking for?
It's always.
Did you wonder where I was?
Every time.
Did you wonder what I was doing? Hit you with that baritone. I'm eating yogurt right now, Dr. Nikki.
I heard it.
Gotta stay regular. Get my bifidus regularis up. Level up. Sierra said level up. I took it literally.
You did. Isn't that trademarked? So shout out to Activia. We don't want to fight on us for nothing we got. Right, let's be clear about that. I'm going to tell you what I won't miss, everybody. I won't miss Tomas's delayed intro. And for verification, it's right here in my notes that I wanted to give a shout out to our clumsy, but what I hope you all find endearing openings.
Listen,
I hope you all find it endearing.
I am not a comedian. I don't have comedic timing. I'm an improver. And sometimes it takes me a moment to get into the improv.
Oh my goodness. Such a silly Billy is what you are. That's my mom words right there. Silly Billy. Oh God. So let me tell you all, just like full personal disclosure. This week has been challenging for a couple different reasons. One is that this is the time of the year for many of us academics where we are just like done, but there's still 4 more weeks, maybe for some folks 5 more weeks left in the semester. Okay, technically 5 for me if you count like grading and finals and all of that stuff, but 4 more weeks of like actually having to go to class and teach and be present and engaged. And it's right around this time for me, and I think it's true for other academics, where I'm just like, you know what? I feel like you've learned enough. I think I don't have anything else to give to you. So
that's
can we
not
just
how
do
this works. That's not how any of this works.
That's not how it works. It's not how it works. So that has been in part the struggle. Like, no, you still need to engage and like be energetic and be excited about the material and engage your students around the material and catch up with your grading that you let slack off over spring break, all of those things. So that's one layer of challenge that I have going on, which is, not unique or different. I'm this way every spring, when I'm just like, the sun is shining and the pollen is killing my allergies, but I'd rather be outside doing something fun than being indoors. So that's one part of it. But if I'm going to be honest, excuse me, I have to be honest and say that our what's the word? I don't even know. Dehumanizing political landscape for Black people in this country has taken its toll on me this week as well. So I've been struggling emotionally this week with kind of still trying to wrap my brain around the killing of Stephen Clark in Sacramento. And then earlier this week, also grand jury decided, surprise, surprise, not to convict either of the officers involved in the Alton Sterling shooting, which happened last summer in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. That one hit a little bit closer to home because I'm from Baton Rouge. So having both of those things happen in short proximity, having the March for Change happen over the weekend, on Saturday, I was actually doing the Sex Positive You workshop with Dr. LaWanda Hill here in Houston. So I wasn't able to watch the march live as it was happening, but I went back through and watched several of the more powerful speeches, especially that speech by I'm calling her the little lioness, Naomi Wilder, 11-year-old African-American girl from Washington, D.C., who spoke. And so I've kind of, as they say, been in my feelings this week for a variety of different reasons. And so I think Tomas and I are, with my psychological hat on for a second, trying to deal with that by being a little extra silly and a little extra giddy. Because, if you can't laugh through the pain, then we really are really in some extremely dire straits if we can't find the humor and joy, no matter how little it may be in life. And so I don't know. Where are you, Tomas, in dealing with all of that, and how are you managing, or are you not?
Well, I have to be very careful being an angry black man, because usually that leads to arrest.
If you're lucky.
Just being shot in the streets.
Yes.
So I think that's all that needs to be said on that.
Yeah. You kind of got to keep it locked down. And yeah, I get that. I try to contain my emotional reactions for a variety of different reasons. One specific reason is because it's really hard to explain to a 6-year-old why you're crying about somebody that you never met, and why you're crying about the state of being a black person in this country, because I think that's in part how racism wins, in that I don't want to put that mantle on her any younger than it needs to be. It doesn't mean that we don't talk very frankly about race and racism, but I need, as a mother, for her to not be walking around with a sense of fear about her life and safety. And so I really work hard to keep my tears contained when I'm in mama mode. And so sometimes, which is a lot of time, there's only a few hours at the end of every night that I get to myself. And during the day, I'm at work. It's not really productive for me to kind of go to that space. But for some reason, like this Tuesday, again, coming on the heels of watching the speeches at the March for Change. And then I actually, not only the speeches that I watched and saw clips of, but I also watched Jennifer Hudson's performance, which was extremely powerful. And I mean, I had the tears just rolling. And so I was able to kind of get through Monday, but then for some reason, Tuesday was really, really a struggle for me. And I spent most of Tuesday in tears, I'm angry, angry tears. And all I could keep thinking was, I'm just so angry that this continues to be our state of existence. So to that. And so when I go there, one of the things that I always try to do, because I very, very much believe in the adage of too much whom is given, much is expected. And I recognize that I sit in a position of privilege in a lot of my identities and a lot of my roles in life. It's a privilege for me to be a middle-class wage earner in this society. It's a privilege for me to be an intellectual. It's a privilege for me to be an academician. And a whole host of other ones. And so I always try to think about how can I then use my power that I have and my privilege to counter the oppression, to counter the negativity, to counter violence in some way. And so that's why this particular podcast endeavor with you, Tomas, has been so affirming for me, and fun and joyful, but also powerful, in that I feel like we've had a really great season of having some important conversations about some big deals and big issues in our country. And so I wanted to take today's episode, our final one for the season, to kind of recap some of those big picture ideas that most stood out to me. And is that okay with you that we could do that?
It's all right.
Hard suck on my teeth for you. Whatever.
don't be sucking your teeth on me. Wait a minute.
That sounds
let me
weird.
say it. Let me say it the way Big Mama would say it. Child, you suck your teeth one more again.
Oh my God. At some point over the past month or so, okay, this is what we're going to do with a segue. One of my favorite episodes from this season was actually the Working Mamas episode that I had with two of my favorite friends, U of H colleagues and mama friends, was with Ayana McLeod and Elizabeth Farfan Santos. And at one point, about a month or so ago, Ayana and I had this text message stream going back and forth with like all of these phrases and things that Black mamas say, and we followed everyone with like hashtag what Black mamas say. And so that falls right in line with that. And I say that to Asha sometimes, if you such and such one more time, ... right? The threat is implied. I don't have to actually say what comes after. There's no then that actually comes out. You just say if, and the threat just hangs in the air. I don't know what actually the threat is, but that's just what you say, and that's how you do it.
And let's hope she never has to find out.
Let's hope she never has to find out. The threat. Oh my gosh, no one likes it when we have to go there. But that was one of my favorite episodes, just because it felt very much like which I want to have happen in this space, is just to make this podcast always feel just like you're invited to be a part of a conversation. And that was one of my favorite conversations, because being a mother and being a working mother is such a huge part of my life and the landscape of my world and my identity at this point. And so being able to connect with them around that was affirming and fun and validating.
That was one of my favorites too.
Yeah, because you didn't say a word.
Yeah.
Is that why?
I took a shower. I had my masseuse come over and give me a 15-minute back massage.
You manned the
Buffed
board.
my nails, you know.
You did it all. Did a cucumber mask.
Wait a minute. My nail tech from CVS came over.
That is a business idea. CVS, are you listening? Like, you should launch spa services. Are you listening right now? I feel like we just increase your revenue stream with that brilliant idea right now. 15-minute
Could you imagine?
massage.
I'm a CVS nail tech. Oh, you got benefits. You get discounts on prescriptions. You could be my new boo up in here.
For real. Because if your boo don't have benefits, there is no benefit.
If your boo don't have benefits, you don't have a boo. You have a bah. Because you got to bring something to the table. Something.
You gotta level up. That's what Sierra did tell you.
There it is. Thanks, Sierra. You have changed the landscape of dating forever.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, that was fun episode, and just so much to learn. So I'm definitely hoping to have one or both of them back and revisit that concept next season when we launch in the fall. I have another colleague that I invited to have on, and she wasn't able to join us this season. Her name is Dr. Ruth Lopez, and she uses this phrase all the time, and she refers to herself and to me and other people as mama scholars. And I really want to talk about that part because I know a couple other mama scholars where our politics, our identity, and our work and our roles as mother kind of all aligns around issues of equity and social justice, and the joys and challenges of raising kids of color that are woke, being woke and raising woke kids of color.